Good night, everyone, and get ready because it's time for the late chip at the video store.
Mike, it's our first late shift at the video store. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I've been excited for this since we've been talking about it for like 2 months now.
I'm feeling great too, but looking around the store, it's a Friday evening, it's a little empty. I've been thinking, what is the best song or dance film in a non-musical or music film? Because for me, first one that comes to mind, Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion. I know I've got some weird obsession with this movie, but it does have an amazing dance sequence right at the end of it. It's to Time After Time. It's Lisa Kudrow, Mira Sorvino, Alan Cumming as well. Right at the end, they do this full choreographed dance routine in the middle of their high school reunion, and I like the play on it because even Janine Garofalo's character just rolls her eyes and walks out because it's taken the piss out of those musical moments at the end of the film where everyone just suddenly knows the choreo and knows what they're doing and it comes out perfectly. She's just like, oh, brother. But the dance is actually quite good and not too bad. And at the end, Mira Sorvino just goes, see, I told you going to all those clubs would pay off.
Yeah, that's the greatest thing.
So that's the one that instantly comes to mind. What do you think?
Oh, I love that answer. I think that is a great choice. I think I would go with Deo from Beetlejuice. It's just so random, and it takes the horror elements and mixes it with the comedic elements. It is just so fantastic. They all the little dance moves they do is so fucking fantastic, and then having their faces being drawn into the plates and lifted back up is so great.
Oh, absolutely. And like, what a good use of like the Harry Belafonte song. Like, it's one
Yes.
I hadn't heard so much, and now it's quite synonymous with the film. Like, if you hear that, I'm picturing that scene straight away.
Oh, for sure.
Another one I really like, Less Dance, More Song. I've grown up loving Monty Python. So I love Holy Grail and I love Life of Brian. So just at the end, I'm not going to go too much detail into it, but the end scene and Eric Idle singing Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. I just love that juxtaposition of what the ending is really sort of saying and the lyrics of this song and always having a bright smile when this is not the time to have it. It's that quintessential Monty Python humor that I just really like.
Oh, 100%. I love Life of Brian, and that is a perfect song and dance number for that fucking movie. It's so amazing.
Well, let's call up some of our
Yeah.
friends and see what they think. Who have we got up first?
Let's-
Hey,
Robert!
hey, guinea pig number one. How's it going? I'm on the phone. That's my pimp.
It's our first customer. So, Robert, what's the best song or dance scene in a non-musical or music movie?
I will say Mike's choice would be like my wife's choice because she loves Harry Belafonte and all the Mine is Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Will that comes up in Reservoir Dogs that Michael Madsen, you hear it while he's dancing his creepy, crazy ass little dance as he's slicing a neat guy's ear off and covering him with gasoline. You can light him on fire. And I love it because it's a like kind of a nice song, but it has this juxtaposition of being surrounded with horror element of part of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the quintessential Quentin Tarantino song. It's kind of like one of the first things you think about when you think about a Tarantino movie too. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. I hadn't seen this movie, but you know that scene. Like, that scene surpasses the movie in a sense. Like, everyone knows what you're referencing. My parents had the Reservoir Dogs soundtrack. Yes. So I've grown up listening to that. and it's a great soundtrack. So that song is very burned in my brain before I had seen that scene as well. So even when he's like talking in the ear and stuff, just those little moments.
Yeah, all the little elements of it really bring it together. But it's such a weird song for such a horrific act.
Yeah, when
Mike,
I
what are your
was
thoughts?
4 years old, I saw this in the theater, and that fucking scene changed everything for me. It's so fucking insane and amazing. And then I hear it in supermarkets played, so it brings
Yeah.
out great memories when I hear that song now.
It gets referenced on a Simpsons episode when they do an Itchy and Scratchy with Quentin Tarantino as the guest director. So,
Robert, thank you for joining us today.
thank
Mike,
you for
bring
having
in our
me.
next customer.
We
Who have we got
have.
next? It's Will.
What's up, guys? I didn't know.
Will, our next.
I didn't know how to prepare for this, so I brought the bag for American Beauty, and I brought my copy of the Chipmunk Adventure on DVD. So, you know, what kind of party is this?
This is the kind of party where I'm going to ask you, what is the best song and/or dance scene in a non-musical or music movie?
Ooh, man. So immediately there are two that come to mind, but the one that beats out, the title for the best has to be the song Edgar's Prayer from Barb and Star Go to Vissel Del Mar, where it's Jamie Dornan dancing, frolicking on the beach, climbing fucking palm trees, and singing to a seagull on a goddamn tire. With lyrics like, I had to pull up the lyrics for this. Watch me climbing, I'm going up a palm tree like a cat up a palm tree who's decided to go up on a palm tree. It's shit like this. He's just singing it completely seriously, and it just keeps getting stranger and stranger and stranger as it goes. And nope, that has to beat out everything else for number one for me.
Mike, I haven't seen this one, so I can't comment. It sounds batshit crazy. Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
Watch this movie on Hulu. It's free on Hulu right now. I've since I saw it the first time, I've seen it probably good 4 or 5 times now, just for this scene alone. It's worth it.
I saw this with a group of people in this community, and it is definitely an insane experience. But it's a great fucking choice for the song.
Will, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us your answer. Mike,
Absolutely.
bring in our next customer.
Next one. We got Tony.
Hey,
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
great. So, Tony, my question: what is the best song and/or dance scene in a non-musical music movie?
Okay, well, when you first posed this, I was like, oh man, there's so many to choose from. Roberts was a backup. I mean, that was a great pick. But the one that I'm going with is it's done twice in the movie, and that is "Immigrant Song" in Thor Ragnarok.
Good choice.
Because as a fan of the comics, Thor, the first 2 Thor movies were okay, but Ragnarok brought it up a notch, and really, I mean, obviously, the song is about Vikings as it is, so it obviously fits. And just seeing Thor just fucking wreck house in both scenes, to such a catchy song. I mean, it's Led Zeppelin. How the fuck can you go wrong?
Yeah.
This is one I definitely was like, oh, is this too on the nose? And I'm like, no, it's fucking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
it's great.
Sometimes you're like, okay, a little subtlety would have been nice, but here you're like, fucking go with it.
Nah, just lean into it. And you're right, that's what makes it pay off. And it is like a big rock and roll moment, especially I'm thinking like when they're on the bridge and everyone gets their big like entrance shots and everything. It's great.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's a good tune and a great movie. So
Mike,
no,
what do you
Thor
thought
is
on
not
this
the
one?
god of subtlety.
And yeah, this is definitely not subtle, but it's so fantastic. It's such a great part of the movie. I love this scene so much.
Yeah, they even do it with when Captain America has Mjolnir in Endgame. There's YouTube clips of him doing it to Immigrant Song instead, and it's like, yeah, just fucking, it works.
It works. Tony, thank you so much for coming on and giving us your answer.
Thanks for having me.
Mike, bring in our next customer.
How do I get up on the video store? What?
So, Harvey, what is the best song and or dance scene in a non-musical music movie?
There's a lot of options I was going through. I think my favorite is going to be 1994's The Mask, specifically Cuban Pete, which is a phenomenal dance sequence. Because it captures exactly what Jim Carrey as the Mask should capture. Like it covers everything about that movie in just the weirdest possible song to choose, weirdest possible way to get out of a situation. The scene goes, if you don't know it, is he's surrounded by cops after they're pursuing him because he's roaming around doing all sorts of wacky crap. And the way he gets out of it is he does a conga line and dances to the song Cuban Pete by Desi Arnaz, and it's phenomenal. It's hysterical. Everything about it was amazing. I watched it when I was probably 13, and I was like, this 90s comedy isn't going to work for me. It worked amazing, and that scene is what solidified it.
I think this is a great choice because this is another one that I think almost surpasses the film. Like everyone can picture that yellow suit and then the conga outfit and what's happening. So I love this. Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this was definitely in the back of my mind for a great choice to pick. And yeah, it is definitely the scene that surpasses a movie. It's so fantastic, so much fun.
Oh, Britt, Harvey, thank you for coming on and giving us your answer today.
Thank you so much.
Mike, bring in the next customer.
The Jurassic Park man himself.
Oh.
Mark, thank you for joining us today.
Oh yeah, no, that's fun.
My question: what is the best song and or dance scene in a non-musical music movie?
You know what? Sitting here, I'm really debating changing my answer, but I will go with what I originally went with, and it is simply the end credits dance from Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder. That is the greatest dancing of it.
Everyone's cheering backstage.
I mean, it was the perfect way to end that movie. And also, like, that performance is just really good in itself. And that dance just kind of signifies exactly like what Tom Cruise did. It's like, oh, and it was at a point where like I feel like we were just kind of ready to give up on Tom Cruise. Like we were just kind of done with him. And then we're watching him as a bald man with hairy knuckles just dance around to a Ludacris song. Like it's amazing. Like it is so freaking cool. Like I will watch that dance sequence just at any time, just because like it's the ultimate thing to pick your spirits up.
Oh, I worked at the movie theater for 2008. So this playing for the credits while I'm trying to clean up mountains of popcorn, like it just never got old. It was always a good time. Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
Oh yeah, this is a scene that I've watched by itself so many times. It's it's definitely my favorite scene in the movie, and to know that he brought it himself, this entire character and the dancing in general is just fantastic.
Oh, Mark, thank you for coming on and giving us your answer today. Mike, bring in our next customer.
Next one.
It's Jeremy.
Hey.
Jeremy, my question. What is the best song and or dance scene in a non-musical music movie?
Well, I'm glad I had a backup because Robert took mine immediately, and that's fine. It's all good. I knew it was going to happen. So in place, I have one word, and that one word is Party Man from the Batman '89. It's the scene when Joker breaks into the museum, and he, for some reason, is in the flesh-colored makeup, but he's got the artist hat. He's got his crew. There's no guns and weapons they've come to create. So the song plays, and as they're graffitiing and destroying all this art, it's happening in time with the song. And it's Prince, and it's the 80s, and it's just great. I don't know if it gets better than that, but that's my pick. I love it. I'm a Batman stan. It's one of the best scenes in any of the movies. So, Party Man, baby.
Oh, I am a big Batman '89 fan. That is what I've grown up with, those first 4 movies. So I love this pick. It's not one I had thought of at all, but just the absolute glee that Jack Nicholson's Joker has during this scene when it's like the statue and he's like imitating it and just knocks it off and everything.
And all the henchmen too, like they're having fun. He's letting them have a day off. It's great. He's great. Gotham's a great place to work, I'm sure.
Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
Oh, it's actually my favorite Batman movie, and it's such a great fucking moment. Jack Nicholson is so amazing in it. It's amazing, so much fun.
Jeremy, thank you for coming on and giving us your answer this morning. It's great.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Mike, bring in our next customer.
We got John.
We got John.
I made it. I made it.
Yes.
I was hosting like a tournament, and I had to run across the street so I can go home to my basement and give you my answer.
John,
I wouldn't miss this. I wouldn't miss this for the world. What's going on?
Give us your answer. Just go.
Yeah, my answer, and I'm probably Mike might have seen it. I doubt Kelly's seen it. It's the opening dance sequence from Climax, which is fantastic because there are 20 professional dancers who are not actually. There's 2 actors and like 18 dancers, and it's a professional dance sequence that goes on for like 5 minutes, and it's berserk. It is it sets the tone for that movie, and for horror fans, Climax is where it's at. Suspiria sucks. Climax rules.
I love this choice because you said this to me and I gave it a little heart. You're like, Kelly, have you seen it? I'm like, no. And I'm like, but why does it sound so familiar? And my partner, Alan, had just watched it recently. And when I tested these questions, that's the exact answer he gave. He said the opening scene from Climax. So I watched it on YouTube this morning. So to see like all the voguing and everything, I love that. That's where my heart lives. So
yeah, there's so many different styles of dance. Like you have those guys, you have like break dancers, you have ballet dancers, you have classical dancers. It's everything. Like I don't know anything about dance. I can fight, but I can't dance. But if I could dance as well as I could fight, like that's how I would dance. It's exactly how I could do it.
Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
I knew nothing about this movie going into it, and for it to open like that, I was fucking in it. I was fucking ready to go. It's such a fun way to open it. It's so amazing, and I loved it from there on.
Great. John, thank you so much for giving us your time this morning.
See you guys.
Mike, bring in the next customer.
Hi.
We got Dylan.
Dylan, what is the best song and or dance scene in a non-musical music movie?
God damn it, John. Suspiria does not suck. That was legitimately my pick that I was going with. There's the opening scene or one of the opening scenes in Suspiria. It happens early on in the film where one of Tilda Swinton's characters, Madame Blanc, puts a spell on Dakota Johnson's character, and it basically she does this like amazing dance number, which is like extremely well choreographed. But what it is also doing is what she doesn't know is her dance moves are also like contorting this other girl who is trying to escape the studio at the same time after just outing all the people that run the dance academy as being witches. And so while she's doing this dance, like this lady being like thrown across the room and her body's being like twisted and contorted, and it's like constantly editing back and forth between the dance and just this horrifying like scene, and it's just brutal. And I watch a lot of horror movies, and it's like one of the few scenes that like actually viscerally like disturbed me. So I had to go with it. God damn you, John. Climax is good too.
I haven't seen it, but it's one I want to see just for the dancing. Like it looks mesmerizing. Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's actually I was not expecting much out of the remake, and for it to open, for it to have the scene in there, it actually caught my attention, and I really did enjoy it. It's definitely the standout scene for me for this movie. It's a great pick.
Right. Oh, Dylan, thank you so much for coming on and giving us your answer today.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, we've had some wonderful guests come in today. This was amazing. We had a good first showing at the late shift at the video store.
It was great.
Fantastic. So let's close up shop and get out of here.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh wait, we do have.
Oh yes.
Sure.
One last customer.
Yes.
Let's do it.
A few moments later.
Mike, let's bring in the next customer. Who do we have?
Let's do it.
It's Brittany.
Hey.
Brittany, what is the best dance scene in a non-musical or non-music movie?
All right, so I picked Shrek 2, Holding Out for a Hero. Quick context, so Fiona has to dance with Prince Charming, who she thinks is Shrek, And while this is happening, the villain of the film, Fairy Godmother, starts singing. And what I think is so cool about this is once she starts breaking it down, the camera comes, or the choir comes in and stuff. The actual hero of the film, Shrek, is trying to break in where she's holding his lady kind of hostage. And I just think it really does a great job at mixing the comedy with the stuff with the Rose and Charming. You got the action, you got her, like I said, breaking it down, doing a whole dance number. I also just really love the song. But at the same time, the stakes are pretty high too. You got Mongo, the giant gingerbread guy who unfortunately dies. But then you break that with, right after that, Puss in Boots does his little like eye thing. So again, they balance it all really well together. And then at the end of it, you got the hero coming in and saving the day. So yeah, for me, that is the best musical number in a non-musical film.
I love that because I've grown up with like Ab Fab, and so Jennifer Saunders as Fairy Godmother kills that performance. So that is one I hadn't even thought of. Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
Oh yeah, that's the one thing I actually remember from the Shrek movies. I don't remember a lot, but I do remember that, so I love it. That's a great pick.
Thank you.
Brittany, thank you for coming on today. Thank you for giving us your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, are you open? Yeah, you open? No!
A few moments later.
Oh my, that was such a fun show to record. I'm so
Yeah.
grateful to all our guests for coming on today, helping us figure out the kinks of this first run. But moving forward, obviously, we weren't live today. We were pre-recorded.
Yeah.
No one will be seeing their Twitch comments come up on screen for a very particular reason. But next week we want to come back with a brand new topic, and we want new guests, new faces, because we really want to get to know people in the community and what their thoughts and feelings are on the various topic. So next week we'll have a brand new topic on screen. Mike and I will be here. We'll start the show, and then the StreamYard link is going to be shown on screen. So if you have an answer to the question and you can keep it under a minute 30 is your limit, please click the link. Come on, give us your answer. We would love to talk to you and find out. Following that, we're going to see if possibly, if you've been on the week before, more than likely you won't get shown the next week, because we're trying to talk to as many people as we can. We want different faces, different answers. So the following week, post that, or even for people that are on today, you probably won't get shown next time. Yeah.
We know it's not always going to happen that way. We know there's going to be some times where new people don't come and watch us on the day because, you know, who the hell watches me and Nazara regardless. But when that happens, we will have a place where if you are watching, you were on the week before and we have no one new, we'll have a time for you to come on and jump on if we need just extra people to jump on to kind of keep the runtime going.
Yeah, the phones will be open, basically.
Yes.
The StreamYard link for the first time is for people that haven't been on the week previously, and then when we are not having as many new customers, we'll let everyone know, so it's a bit of more of a free-for-all.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Mike, I'm extremely excited to see how this is going to go next week.
Oh, yeah. And there's one thing I do want to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Since you now are officially part of the video store, that means that you get your own merch. So buy her shit now. Because we're not only going to have a late shipped at the video store t-shirt available, but we're also going to have a special one that was made specifically for Kelly. It's going to have t-shirts, mugs, sweaters, all kinds of fucking random shit. Go buy it all because she's amazing and she is the creator of this. So she deserves her own shit now.
Go get your Hostess with the Mostest TV t-shirt.
And go check out her Disney podcast as well. If you haven't already, go do that because it's amazing.
Thanks, Mike, and we'll see everyone next week.
Definitely.